In today's comparison, we have two Les Pauls to show you. The first is the original, the Gibson Les Paul made in America, and we're going to be putting it head to head with the Chinese Eastman. Both of them have a sunburst finished, both of them are aged, and both of them are going to be shredding machines. In today's episode, I'm going to find out which one is best, and really question whether the Gibson is worth the price hike or not. So sit back and relax, grab some popcorn, and let's get straight into this shreddy Squealing Pig Guitars video. Hello guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley, and today we're doing a battle of the LP style guitar. On my right we have the original, the Gibson Les Paul, and this particular one is a 1960s Murphy Lab aged. It comes from the Murphy Age department as well, so it looks like it's straight out of 1960. Then on my left we have the cheaper, but still cool, Chinese made Eastman. It's a cheaper yet direct competitor to the Gibson Murphy Lab range. But in today's episode, I'm going to find out which one is best and question whether the Gibson is worth the price hike or not. But of course, here at Squealing Pig Guitars, our main mission is to find the best guitars on the planet. So I'll be rating both of these guitars out of 10 at the end of the video. But let's not dawdle any further, let's take a closer look at these guitars on the workbench.
So first off, let's check out the Eastman guitar. I have to say the case and the presentation of this guitar is truly sensational, especially for the price point. When we compare that to Gibson, obviously you've got a lovely kind of aged lifting case with this Gibson reissue, and opening it up, obviously it's a beautiful guitar. I do think the Gibson Les Paul looks slightly better on aesthetics, and obviously it is the original, so it's what we associate with this model. Now let's break down the specs.
So here's the mega expensive Gibson Les Paul Murphy Lab Age, and I have to say this guitar looks truly sensational. This is a 1960s reissue, so it's got a little bit more of a kind of heritage cherry sunburst. They were using a different type of die, so it didn't fade as much in the shop windows, which I think is absolutely stunning. These 60s aged ones are great. As you can see, we've got that kind of buckle rash all over this guitar, and it's got the Murphy Lab treatment, so you've got really nice kind of lacquer checking on this one. Of course, it's a 1960s Les Paul, so it's pretty standard with the specs. We've got a mahogany back, we've got a two-piece flamed maple top, and we've got a mahogany neck with this slimmer profile and a rosewood fingerboard. Moving on to the pickups, we've got a set of Alnico free custom buckers, and then we have an ABR1 bridge drilled directly into the top with an aluminium stop tailpiece. We've got two volumes, two tones with the thumb bleeders, and a three-way switch. That's everything you need to know about this gorgeous Gibson, so let's talk about the Eastman. Now let's move on to the Eastman, retailing around £2,000 on the new market. This guitar has a few differences to a reissue type guitar. We've actually got an Akume body. If you haven't heard of Akume, basically it's a lighter version of mahogany, but it has very similar tonal characteristics to mahogany. As you can see, if you saw that, you'd probably think it was mahogany. That's one piece as well, so that's really high end for this level of guitar. We also have a solid flamed maple top, which looks truly stunning. Moving on, we've got an Akume neck as well, which matches the body and it has a really nice finish over it, looking slightly ambered in areas. We then have an ebony fingerboard, which is very unique for a Les Paul style standard. We then have 22 frets, which have been polished up immaculately, and then we have like a pearl crown material on the inlays. This guitar has Goto hardware, so we've got Goto tuners, we've got Goto bridge, which goes directly into the top, just like an ABR1 bridge, and the stop tailpiece. We've got two volumes, two tones, nothing special with coil tapping or anything, but we do have the thumb bleeders and a three-way switch. I'd say this switch feels a little bit cheap, but I guess they have to cut costs somewhere. We have a set of lollers in this one, and we've obviously got that kind of factory templated aging. So that's everything you need to know about these two amazing guitars, so now let's put them head to head in the tone comparison. So guitarists, now it's time for the tone demonstration of these two incredible Les Paul style guitars. I mentioned this previously, but in the studio at the moment we're actually having some construction work. We're converting one of the rooms and putting carpet down and all that stuff, so we're trying to film in between builders' visits, so it's a little bit of a rushed episode. So we won't be having the gig test today, but we still will be doing a tone comparison between these two incredible guitars. We're going to start off with some clean tones and then we'll go to some overdrive tones. So I'm going to start off simple and just play 3 chords with each guitar and cut between them so you can hear the isolated take. Let's do very simple cowboy chords. Just a few thoughts from me as we hear the side-by-side chord comparison. This guitar, this Gibson Les Paul, definitely has a brighter tone to it and a little bit more of a clean tone, whereas the Eastman is a little bit more flubby, a little bit more bassy, and has a little bit less clarity. It's not necessarily a bad tone, it's just this definitely has more brightness, sounds a bit more like an overpowered telly. Now let's play a little neck pickup piece. Lovely tones, really like that. Now let's try the bridge pickup. So after the riff comparison, again, the same thoughts are there. This guitar's brighter, whereas this guitar's a little bit flubbier. This also has slightly less string tension. That's probably because of the top wrap here. In terms of which I prefer the sound of, it has to be the Gibson Les Paul so far. However, ironically, I actually prefer the feel of the Eastman neck. It's a little bit thicker. Now let's move on to the crunch channel. So now I'm on the crunch channel, let's hear the bridge pickup. Now let's hear the Eastman. So just playing the Gibson, when you're doing the shred stuff, it feels a little bit too slinky for my liking. I feel like I'm always going to overbend it. I'd prefer heavier strings on here, or maybe to remove this top wrap, because it feels very delicate when I pick. That's very unique to this guitar and not all Gibson Les Pauls though. Whereas the Eastman definitely has a thicker sound to it, which I really enjoy, and I feel like I can be a little bit more heavier handed thanks to the thicker neck and the slightly tighter strings. Finally, let's have a little shred. So guitarists, we're at the end of another Squealing Pig Guitars video. I really hope you've enjoyed this one today. If you have, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and hit the hype points button if you enjoyed. Also, let me know in the comment section below which guitar did you prefer the sound of and the look of today. Was there a favorite? Let me know down below. And finally, if you're new to Squealing Pig Guitars, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers and we could definitely use your help, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell to be notified when we make a new video. So let's conclude this video. Which guitar do I think is the better instrument? So all-round package, I would say the Gibson Les Paul is still the better guitar. It had a better clean tone, it had a lot more of a kind of versatile sound. It was brighter, which is always what you want with a Les Paul. However, for the overdrive channel and the distortion tones, I actually preferred the feel of the Eastman, but I have to say I still prefer the sound of the Gibson when listening back to the recordings. In my opinion, the Eastman has great potential for an instrument. If I bought this personally, I'd probably change the pickups and maybe replace the tuners, as it did go out of tune quite a few times in this episode. However, the bare bones of that guitar are absolutely sensational. The fretwork's great. I actually preferred the neck shape. It's a little bit thicker and the body just fits really nicely. And with the aged kind of flame top, it looks, incredible. You can't really complain. But in terms of which was the better player all round and which was the better tone machine, I have to give the winning spot to the Gibson. I'm sure you guys were expecting that today, but obviously I have to be honest in these videos. I'd love to say that Eastman was better, but unfortunately it just wasn't in today's episode. However, what is important to note is that I would happily gig either of these guitars and I'd happily buy either of these guitars. Because the Gibson has won today, that doesn't mean that the Eastman is bad. I'm actually very impressed with this Eastman and I'm potentially thinking about actually buying this guitar because I enjoyed it so much. Yes, it's not better than the Gibson, but it doesn't need to be better than the Gibson. They're both viable options. If you're looking for a cheaper option that doesn't necessarily say Gibson on the headstock, the Eastman could definitely be your next guitar. But I hope I've made myself clear there. The Gibson wins, but I'm incredibly impressed with the Eastman today. I'm going to give the Gibson to my right an 8.8 out of 10. I'm going to give the Eastman an 8.4. But as always, guys, let me know in the comment section below whether you agree or disagree with me. But that is the end of this Squealing Pig Guitars video, guys. Thanks for bearing with me this week. Obviously, we've had construction going on at the studio, so the filming schedule and editing's been a little bit all over the place, but we've still managed to get 3 videos to you this week, so I really hope you've enjoyed. But next week, it should be daily uploads again, but if not, I'll let you know in the videos. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Monday for another video. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.